Hey there, good morning. Happy Friday on this Friday, January 10th. You're here on News 6 Plus. Click Orlando.com and YouTube for Breakfast with Bridgett here on this 7:30 on a Friday. I'm Bridgett Ellison. Good to be with you. And I hope you're keeping warm out there. We have a little bit of a break with some of this frigid air coming up soon, but not for very long. We're going to check in with Candace soon on all those details. We will also get the latest on those fires out in the West, which are continuing to be very deadly and devastating, unfortunately. We also will look at TikTok and this major hearing underway with the nation's highest court today and what could possibly be happening. And we'll look at some of the things happening around town, whether it's stores closing, stores opening, as well as that big car show out in Kissimmee this weekend. And we'll take a look at all of that in just a moment. But first, let's get you ready to head out. And Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is in the Pinpoint Weather Center. And Candace, I'm sure that everybody's pretty much been complaining, and hopefully we're going to get a break soon.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, temperatures this morning are once again pretty cold, freezing in some spots, frosty in others, but we are today going to get very close to near 70. This is going to be the closest
Nice.
we'll get to for at least the next 7 days. So if you like it sunny and in the 70s, today is your the chef's kiss
A
of a
little bit
weather
better.
forecast. Right. But just do be aware, Saturday's not going to be a washout of a day, but it might be more of a cloudier, gloomier day. We're watching basically a cold front that's coming through parts of the deep south right now. A lot of moisture really fueling the system, bringing a lot of rain and snow and sleet into the forecast. The tail end of that cold front will be bringing us a little bit of rain. Not a big widespread chance, about 30 to 40% by daybreak tomorrow, but the clouds could linger. Some of the modeling is holding on to the clouds lingering for a little longer for your Saturday, and then we'll clear it out for Sunday. So let's take it to the map, show you what's going on across Central Florida. Oh, that's not the right graphic. Hold on. I jumped back. Here are your weather headlines for today. You got a sneak peek of my 7 day. Frosty start, a nice mild afternoon. As we head into the weekend, again, a few isolated showers by daybreak tomorrow. We will start to cool back down once the front clears. And then by the time we head into the first half of next week, we have another front on Monday, and that will cool us down a little further. So with every cold front, no big drastic drop, but a little step down with each front. So right now, advisories include a freeze warning, a frost advisory with those associated colors there. So a frost advisory from Seminole, Southern Lake, Orange, coastal communities of Volusia County, and then freeze warnings are in effect for inland Volusia, Flagler, Northern Lake, and Marion County. As we take you here hour by hour, 70. That is going to be our high today. It will be a much warmer afternoon. Overnight lows will also be kind of warm, as our lows, because of all the cloud cover that you can see there coming through overnight, will be keeping temperatures almost in the 60s in some spots. So significantly warmer tonight than we have seen almost all week. So you can see here there's a few spotty showers in the forecast overnight, could linger till about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then you see kind of overall kind of more cloudy skies than sunshine in the forecast. And then we'll start to clear things out as we head into Sunday before that next cold front comes through. That next cold front, by the way, notice to the north, we're still talking about rain, snow, sleet. So if you have any travel plans or you're waiting for any family members to come down to visit for the weekend, and they're kind of in these zones, just do be aware that the weather for air travel could be a little dicey there. Now, rain chances for today, for Saturday, will be about a 20 to 30%. And again, not a washout, but there will be the chance. And at the end of the day, we're starting to kind of tick up with our drought concerns. Most of Central Florida is abnormally dry. Our northern counties are under already a moderate drought. So drought conditions as we head into spring is not something we want. So if we can get a little bit of rain with these cold fronts, that would be ideal. I know people like a nice dry January when it comes to our conditions here, but at the end of the day, we do need a little rain. So we might be able to. I don't see a lot of rain on Saturday. Maybe a little bit more of a plume of moisture on Monday.
So that Monday moisture, when does that kind of start working in?
Latest forecast still show more like the second half of Monday, so it might be more of a
Okay.
late Monday into Tuesday. But that one could bring another round of some cold weather advisories by the end of
Okay.
the week.
All right. Well, not too shabby. All right,
Not too
Candace.
shabby.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye. We want to check in with Trooper Steve. He's out there. And I know you had some things yesterday, so it's a rinse and repeat today as far as getting out on the road. You're going to meet back up with your friend to talk about his running and his mission.
Yes. Today, so yesterday I was under the weather. This guy, he is a firefighter. Not sure exactly where he's a firefighter from, but he travels and he runs these marathons and helps at the Boys and Girls Club, and he wears full bunker gear. So yesterday he's running these Disney marathons. I felt, along with the motivation from Candace, that it probably would not have been the best idea to put this athlete in a car with a trooper who's not feeling too good. So we decided to postpone that, and that's going to happen today, but it's not going to happen from the truck. It's going to happen just like what you're seeing right now from Breakfast with Bridgett, but we still want to bring that to you.
Yeah.
I still want to talk to this gentleman. I want to ask him some questions. I want to understand his mentality and why this is so important to him. Mm-hmm. So this will happen today at 10 o'clock, clickorlando.com, YouTube, all that fun stuff.
Good, good. I'm glad you were able to work that out. And how's the traffic looking today?
Traffic is temperamental, I would say. It's not too bad on a Friday. It's actually pretty nice. So we only have one crash right now that I'm talking about. It's Colonial west of the Turnpike. And then some delays out here just south of the Montverde or southwest of the Montverde area off of Hancock. So just be careful at Fosgate intersection. Your drive time's actually not too bad. 36, 37 minutes from Champions Gate to downtown Orlando. And then other DOT cams across Central Florida showing, hey, traffic moving pretty good out there. My philosophy is as long as it's not at a standstill, then we're okay. Westbound I-4 just now starting to see some delays out in the Lake Mary area. Normally throughout the week, other days than Friday, that starts around 6 today, about 7:30, so not bad. And if you're headed to the airport, leaving our area, lucky you. All drive times looking good, except for a little slow leaving Kissimmee. Outside of that, Bridgett, I'm about to wrap this up. I am craving some of Olive Garden's soup.
Oh,
that's Zuppa Toscana.
Hey, yesterday I had some of the Mama's chicken soup from Carrabba's. That's my favorite.
That is,
you should
so
head over
good.
there.
So that's my favorite one from Carrabba's, and then I had the chicken soup from Panera yesterday.
Yes. And Wawa has a great chicken soup. Just keep going with the soups and the liquids.
I didn't know Wawa has a chicken soup.
They have a great Candace piped up on that.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to try that out today.
Put a little pack of hot sauce in there, too, for that little kick when you have a cold.
Done. Mm-hmm. Done.
Or,
all right,
or make some pastina. You know, talk to Candace about the pastina feel better recipe.
Look at that.
Yeah.
See, guys, if you guys are watching Breakfast with Bridgett, you get remedies. You get to know a little about what we're going on in our life, all this stuff. So thank you, Bridgett.
All right. Feel better. We'll see you at 10. We want to get an update. You know, Angie had the follow-up yesterday with the volunteers with Red Cross who were getting involved with the firefighting volunteer and shelter efforts out west. And so today she has more follow-ups because the death toll, unfortunately, is going up with these wildfires as they get worse, really. The coroner out in LA confirming at least 10 people have lost their lives. At least 10,000 homes and buildings have been destroyed in this, and it is no respect of persons. We've seen, everyday people, celebrities, everyone's being impacted by these fires out there. So here's Angie with the latest on what's happening in LA County.
At least 10 lives lost and more than 10,000 structures destroyed, with no sign of containment in sight.
There is a new fire, unfortunately, in West Hills, pushing into Ventura County, and we are expecting this fire to rapidly spread due to high winds.
Adding to the chaos, the fast-moving Kenneth fire erupting hours ago, threatening more neighborhoods and more evacuations. Leaders are urging people in evacuation zones to leave immediately, warning conditions can turn deadly in minutes.
If you're told to evacuate, then get the hell out. You might think you can outrun a fire. You are not going to outrun these fires.
The focus now is saving lives and property as firefighters race against time.
I had the opportunity to fly this fire this morning, and the level of devastation is staggering.
President Biden has pledged federal support, promising to cover disaster response costs for the next 6 months, but immediate danger remains.
Of course, we'll be following that story here. clickorlando.com, and coming up on News 6 at noon on WKMG. Now to the latest on the potential TikTok ban in the United States. Today, the Supreme Court set to take up this issue and hear arguments surrounding a law that would require the app to cut ties with its Chinese parent company or face being banned here in the U.S. And so News 6's Mark Lehman is explaining this decision and the major impact it could have in a matter of days.
Hours from now, the highest court in the land is taking up a case that will decide the fate of TikTok. The Supreme Court will hear arguments this morning on the video sharing platform's First Amendment case. At issue is a ban Congress passed in April.
This is a common sense measure to protect our national security.
The measure, which goes into effect January 19th, requires TikTok to either shut down or find a new owner. The ban enjoyed bipartisan support on national security fears surrounding the app's Chinese ownership.
Beijing, China should not have the control over Americans that TikTok gives them.
Now it's up to the court to decide if the ban infringes on TikTok's First Amendment rights. Last month, President Trump spoke on the issue and hinted at saving the social media app.
We did go on TikTok, and we had a great response with billions of views, billions and billions of views. Maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while, you know.
All right, and Mark is here with us live this morning in the newsroom. Mark, it's an interesting debate, and this could go any kind of way. Do you think we'll find out anything before the end of this week?
It's hard to say at this point because we do have that January 19th deadline approaching, and the Supreme Court, usually likes to take their time in, weighing the possibilities for the different outcomes and why they want to, make a decision very carefully on this. So it's unknown if they will actually make a decision before January 19th or if perhaps they might decide to put a stay on the law that's supposed to go into effect, so to allow them to have more time to make a decision. But it just remains to be seen. But basically this boils down to an issue of national security versus an issue of First Amendment rights. We have the law that says that basically this is a national security issue with this Chinese parent company of TikTok, ByteDance, and but TikTok is countering on that, saying that Americans have a First Amendment right to choose what social media platform they want to use, and we'll see how that plays out when those arguments begin this morning.
And will it really, to catch people up if they haven't really been following along, what is it about the security issues? Is it the information that TikTok takes by having access to when we download this app, or is it, previous proof that they have, maybe sold information? Is it various things that are still happening?
Well, it's just it boils down to the Chinese ownership because TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, is a Chinese-based company, and therefore the Chinese government has access to more or less manipulate the information on the platform and can also gather information on the users. That's what the U.S. government is alleging here, is that that's a concern, is that the Chinese government can do those things, and that's why they want TikTok to sell to a non-Chinese based company or else risk being banned here in the United States.
Right. So when it comes to, say, like other privacy settings and things of that nature with other apps that you might download here domestically or, American-based apps, there are some other different security measures in place that may not be as tight on that app.
Well, yeah, because basically like American-based companies, the U.S. government does not have access to what information American-based companies gather, but that's different in China, where the Chinese government basically does have access to anything. If there's any Chinese-based company, that information, they're able to basically access it and do what they want with it.
Mm-hmm. And so we'll wait and see. You said the 19th is, just 9 days away now, and so this is really just the beginning of it, but it could take a few days and then we'll see. But it's an interesting debate, though, so lots of people are... Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that, enjoy TikTok every day, 170 million users here in the United States. And you have TikTok influencers that depend on the platform for their livelihood. And, regular folks like you and me just enjoy scrolling through the videos, whether it's for entertainment, information. There's lots of useful things that you can get from the platform. It's just that concern about national security. That's the issue that we're coming
Definitely.
to with this, Supreme Court hearing this morning.
And I think the bigger issue too with those algorithms that software is able to sort of artificially design based around what you react to and what you watch, and that's a larger issue pretty much over all of these different social media feeds. And now we've seen people, like you said, who make their livelihood on this, and so it's really turned into, at least with my feed, lots of people selling stuff, and so lots of people are moving over to other platforms or just urging people to go follow them, on the places where they sell the stuff, or go to different apps. Like I think a lot of people are moving over to something called Lemonade. Is it called Lemonade? So
I haven't heard of that one.
yeah, like I've noticed some of the people that I've followed, they're attaching the link to their new Lemonade link and account because they want you to follow them there in case TikTok just totally goes away.
Ah, gotcha.
But again, I mean, it's just like there's always a new app and a new platform, and it gets to be a lot to keep up with following, different groups and people and what's happening on these different apps.
Yeah, and it's interesting where you mentioned that the algorithm and how, TikTok, for instance, is able to manipulate that data to drive the videos that they think that you want to see, and what do they do with that data is that question here, and what kind of access the Chinese government has to that, and what they're planning on doing with that is the concern. But again, TikTok is saying that it's a First Amendment issue and that we all have the right to choose to use this platform, and it should not be taken away from us. And we'll see what the Supreme Court decides after the arguments today.
Right. Well, Mark, thanks for the breakdown on this, and I'm sure you'll keep us posted as we go into this next week.
Oh, yeah.
Have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more about some local business closures and some different things happening around town when it comes to some of the stores and some of the things happening that you can get out and check out this weekend. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We've been covering some of the fluctuating businesses that have been closing, whether it be stores, restaurants. And so today, more headlines about Seminole Town Center's future and a new twist in the quest to find a new future for the mall there, the Seminole Town Center Mall. So according to some sources very close to the would-be buyer, a Costco could soon be moving in out there. That's exciting news if you love those big box membership stores. News 6's Troy Campbell explains, though, the small stores still operating inside the mostly vacant mall have been ordered to move out.
The city of Sanford says this property, the Seminole Town Center, is currently worth $45 million. However, with new details released, including a Costco, once redevelopment is completed, it's estimated this property will be worth about $500 million.
I've spent a lot of years here since I was like a kid.
David Fontanen says the Seminole Town Center is a shell of its original self while visiting the mall on Thursday.
What has gone through your mind since you walked in?
It's shocking because it's been a long time, but used to come here just to hang out, shop around. That's not really possible anymore.
On Thursday, sources who've had direct talks with the Costco team confirmed to News 6 a new Costco location will be coming to the Seminole Town Center property. City leaders have previously announced a California Pizza Kitchen, a new Guy Fieri concept, multiple hotels, and even a movie theater will all be developed on the site.
I'm excited for the Costco because I always hear stories about Costco's from other people.
The city of Sanford says even though a sale of the property was expected in mid-January, the project is growing with more investors and businesses signing on. Elevate, JCPenney, Dillard's, and Dick's Sporting Goods are planned to stay open during redevelopment.
What goes through your mind when I tell you that they're going to develop a Costco here, some new restaurants, hotel, after what it looks like now?
Exciting. It's going to make this place look a lot better.
The interior stores of the mall have until the end of the month to leave. In a statement, the city says Sanford will assist a number of the small businesses with relocating.
Local businesses, kind of the foundation of us, that's what keeps us going.
It's important for the community, honestly.
Yeah, keeps the community strong, like a unity.
The city of Sanford didn't release an exact timeline for a sale, but says it will be in a matter of months. They also say once redevelopment is complete, it will bring much needed revenue to the city. In Sanford, Troy Campbell, Getting Results, News 6.
And speaking of stores, we now know some of the Macy's locations that will shut down this year. One of them here in Central Florida, the retailer announcing last year it was planning to close 150 underproductive locations by 2026. And so it's now released 66 of the closing locations, including one of the non-traditional stores, the Macy's Furniture and Mattress Gallery on West Town Parkway in Altamont Springs. That's right next to Costco in Altamont Springs. So an exact closing date was not announced, but the company says clearance sales will begin next month. But I really hate to hear that. I like that store, and it's actually not far from the station. So if you're over this way, you know that area well and know that store well. But an exact closing date, again, has not been announced. But the company says that the clearance sales will begin next month. Well, this weekend, if you're looking for something to do and you love cars, maybe head out to the Mecum Car Auction. And our Crystal Moyer, my co-anchor and insider guide, she has a look at one of the coolest vehicles out there. There are so many, but this one is actually formerly a presidential limousine, nicknamed, they call them the Beast. But anyway, it is part of the world's largest car auction underway in Kissimmee. And so she's showing you an inside look at this presidential limousine and more. Let's take a listen.
It's historical and it's amazing. This is one of 3 vehicles that were commissioned by the United States government.
This 1996 Cadillac Fleetwood presidential limousine is the only one currently available for public ownership and was custom built for President Clinton during his administration.
As you can see, we got the presidential flags that were indicative of all the presidential limousines.
And this limo is fully armored. The tires run flat. The windows bulletproof.
So the window's 3 inches thick, and it was a special design requested by the government.
The door weighs nearly 400 pounds.
Got to be pretty strong to open them. And then you can see that it's lined with steel completely, and in these encasings is a fire retardant system that keeps it so if anything happens inside the car, from gas to anything toxic, it would never get to the president.
Now we're inside. I kind of feel presidential sitting back here, and there's a lot of unique buttons.
Here, the president was able to control both the windows up and down, footrests, the partition. As you can see, it has what most people won't even recognize, a VHS tape, which was indicative of the 90s.
The front seat, separated by a partition, also has some unique features.
This set of controls is so that it can work all the lights. It's got full lights just like a police car. It's got the radio system and the ability for you to not only use for the Secret Service when they're driving with him to be able to talk to people in the crowd to move away from the vehicle, but also if there's any problems.
And under the hood,
This is a custom-built engine.
this presidential limo will be crossing the auction block on Saturday, January 18th. It last sold at auction in 2013 for $275,000. If you're not in the market for a new ride, you can still check out the presidential limo and even sit inside like I did. It's one of nearly 5,000 unique vehicles, part of the Mecum auction at Osceola Heritage Park. Then you can find information on tickets at clickorlando.com/insider. In Kissimmee, Crystal Moyer, Getting Results News 6.
It really looks like so much fun and won't be too cold, but you'll, need a jacket if you want to head out there. Speaking of things to head out and do, maybe if you love the Dino Land at Disney's Animal Kingdom, go ahead and get out there now because it will start to look different very soon. Demolition is set to begin in the Dino Land USA area of Animal Kingdom. So Sunday is the last day to get on the Triceratops spin. That's always so fun. And the Fossil Fun Carnival games. Now the headliner ride Dinosaur will stay open through the end of the year. So you still have some time to enjoy that. Disney announced last year that the area will be reimagined to include a ride based on the movie Encanto. So that's exciting as part of a new Tropical America's Land. So, change is inevitable with all of our parks because there's always something new and lots of expansion. So get out to Animal Kingdom and go early because, the animals start to get sleepy in the afternoon. So if you want to see them, get over to the park early this weekend. But that's going to do it for us for now. We'll be back at noon with more news and weather updates. Hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Stay safe.